Okay, you just won the purse bid for Archer Beterbiev, Caleb Smith. Any word on where that's going to be and when that's going to be?
As far as where it's going to be in French Canada, whether Montreal or Quebec, and it will be at the very beginning of August.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about Tyson Fury. I know you mentioned a summer fight for him. Is that still on the table, and is Andy Ruiz still one of the leading candidates for that fight?
And no, not really. We're focusing on is the Chinese kid that beat Joe Joyce,
Okay, so
whatever his name.
Zhang's the front runner for that fight,
Yes,
and is that likely for July, or have you had any date for
it's
that?
likely for July. We're trying to close that out over this weekend.
Okay. Now the whole situation with the Saudi, the two fights, Joshua versus Wilder and Fury Usyk. Have you talked about that with Fury at all? Have you met with anyone in Saudi, or at least talked to anyone in Saudi? Have you been involved in any of those negotiations? Because I know Eddie Hearn has said he's been involved for Wilder and Joshua.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Eddie Hearn, what his involvement has been, but we have. I have talked to a representative of Skill Challenge that puts on these boxing events in Saudi Arabia.
So that's definitely on the table for December. Or not definitely, I should say, but the talks
Yeah,
are ongoing, I should say.
that is correct. We know those people. We worked with them in connection with the Jake Paul Tommy Fury fight, as far as the U.S. television was concerned, and so we know who the players are, and we have some very interesting talks with them.
Now, Teofimo Lopez had mentioned in an interview that he has one fight left with Top Rank. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
He didn't say that.
Okay,
I mean, he's being Teofimo Lopez. He says this is his last fight with ESPN. He
okay.
has 2 years contract with Top Rank, and Top Rank has an exclusive deal with ESPN. So frankly, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so that's kind of confusing. So when you say it's his last fight with ESPN, what does that mean? Where else would he fight if not on ESPN?
Thank you. You try to answer that question because I can't.
Yeah, no disrespect to Teo, he just says things, and that's why I have to clarify them with you because a lot of times I'm not sure if they're exactly correct or not. To put it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I I don't want to distract him. I want him to prepare as best he can for the Josh Taylor fight, which is a very tough fight. And we will see where we go from there.
Now, I want to talk about Regis Prograis because that's another story that's been floating around out there. I know that Eddie Hearn has confirmed that he has spoken with him. It's been mentioned that Top Rank has spoke with him as well. Where does that stand, and are those rumors true that you guys did speak with Regis Prograis?
Well, I don't know where anything stands, but it is true that we spoke with Regis Programs.
Now, if
That is true.
I'm just going to throw a scenario out there, if Regis did decide to go to Matchroom, would Jose Ramirez still be able to fight him? Would that be a difficulty? Would you have an issue working with DAZN, working with Eddie Hearn? Would it have to be a co-promotion? How would that work if that was a potential fight?
Well, if Progress went with Metro and they wanted to do a fight with one of our fighters, we would sit down with Eddie and try to work everything out. I mean, just the same way we would sit down with PBC if they had a fighter and work everything out. The idea that because a fighter is on with one promoter, which is on a particular platform, and the prospective opponent is on another platform, you can still come to an accommodation, as was demonstrated by Oscar and Mayweather in that Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight. I mean, and we and when Wilder fought Fury, it was two different platforms. So the idea that you can't make a deal is ridiculous. If you're willing and people are sensible, sure you can make a deal.
So the whole network problems that tend to get floated around out there, basically, if the fight is big enough, there's a way to make it work, is what you're saying?
Not even a question.
Gotcha. Now, I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson because he's coming off a great performance. When do you see him getting back out there and any potential opponents for him?
Well, Shakur is coming to Vegas week after next for the Haney-Lomachenko fight. And we'll be talking with him and his management team. And again, he's a great fighter and he's become a big attraction now with the sales in Newark and the ratings he does. So again, he'll definitely fight before sometime in the fall, and we'll be having that discussion with him and with James Prince.
So, is one of the likely goals to possibly have him fight the winner of this Haney-Lomachenko fight, or is that something you have to wait and see if Haney does win, if he's going to stay at lightweight? Because he says he has a couple more fights at lightweight because it's a pretty big division in terms of monetary gain.
Right. Well, Haney has to see if how hard it is for him to make lightweight, and this fight will be a test. He's a big boy, and again, everything right now is up in the air, and we're awaiting what should be a great fight in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Now, in Shakur's last fight, you had Keyshawn Davis on the undercard. You had Big Baby Miller on the undercard. Is that what you're going to be doing moving forward? Are you going to utilize, these young guys and put them all on the undercards together to try to increase the profile? Is that kind of the blueprint that you're going to use moving forward? Because I thought that was a great idea.
Well, yeah. Well, whatever works, we're going to do. We have, I think, clearly the best group of young fighters of any promoter in the world, and we're going to have them fight on undercards, semi-main events, and then when we feel they're ready, put them in a main event, like we're doing with Jarrett Anderson, who's starring in the main event on July 1st in Toledo, his hometown. So, again, Keyshawn, we hope by the end of the year to have him fight a main event in the Norfolk, Virginia area where he comes from. But that is going back to the traditional way that promoters promoted great, prospects, to make sure they go back to their hometown and fight in their hometown.
Sinisa Estrada, what is the plans for her moving forward? Is she going to get another fight in this year? Any potential opponent that you have lined up for her?
I think she'll get 2 fights in this year.
Okay.
I think we have her slated to fight in July. Is as a main event or a semi-main event. She's a real superstar. She's a terrific fighter, and very attractive young lady. In a good way, and she's definitely fighting in July. I don't know what date it is, but it's either the 22nd or the 29th. But she's on the board.
Okay. Micaiah Mayer, what's the future for her? Is she going to be getting a title shot soon, or are you going to have to continue to build her? A couple more stay busy fights for her. How does it look for her in the next coming year?
Well, we're going to get a title shot for her as soon as we can. But she's a big attraction, and the network people, whether it's ESPN or Sky in England, love her, and she'll be back in action early fall.
So, do you foresee showcasing some of these female fighters over in the UK? Because it appears that over in the UK, the female boxing is more popular. It seems that they take to it a little bit better than they do in the United States. Not that they don't take to it here, but they're just I feel it's more popular over there. And I thought that they had a good turnout for the last fight. Is that something that you're going to continue to do as well?
Well, we're certainly going to do that because you're quite correct. It seems like it's more popular in the UK than it is in the US. But it also means that we have a lot of work to do in the US to build up the popularity of women boxing, at least to the level it is in the UK.
Okay, one last one before I let you go. Gonna get your prediction tomorrow: Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder. Canelo's the huge favorite. Do you think he gets the stoppage tomorrow, or could you see that fight going the distance? Because John Ryder's a tough kid.
It's a tough kid. I don't think the fight goes the distance. Ryder's going to put up a good fight, but I think Canelo knocks him out in the mid-rounds.
Okay. Bob, as always, thank you so much for your time, and have a great day, and I'm looking forward to all these great fights you got lined up for us.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Take care.